because Serie B is it's a wild league and a lot of things go on. So
it's a wild league. Well said. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of. We're gonna laugh a lot about our predictions.
Guaranteed to be wrong. Let's just
absolutely, 100%.
Cittadella are the only team in Veneto for this season because Vicenza failed to get promoted. Venezia went up to Serie A.
I would be happy with Carrarese and Reggiana being last and second to last. We are going to be touching upon each and every one of the teams on the league, so stay with us, interact with us, and together we're going to be speaking Serie B. Roma! Welcome to another episode of Speaking Serie B, the 20th episode of Speaking Serie B, the second episode of the new year, 2025. Cookie season, the biscotti season is upon us. A lot of things have happened inside and outside the field. The market session is going on, so we'll talk about a lot of subjects, and we'll do that together with 𝐏𝐫𝐞-𝐸𝐵 of 𝐏𝐫𝐞-𝑑𝐨𝐮𝐧𝐝 USA, co-host of Speaking Serie B. Welcome, Jake.
Welcome, Elia. It's good to be back after a short break, but I think that was needed just because basically everybody in Serie B had a week off due to the winter break or whatnot. So it's good to be back. A lot of interesting results happened over the weekend, and like you said, a biscotti season. I know how I love making fun of that, and maybe we did see a biscotto result in the previous one. So. Happy to be back.
Even Beasley started to talk about it, just to mention one. So, yeah, let's dive right into it. And we can start by reading the results of the 21st round of the Serie B league. So let me share it here with you all, guys. Coming right up. Please, Jake, do us the honor of reading the results of the
this was
round.
So on Sunday there was basically every game played. There was the lunchtime kickoff between Salernitana and Sassuolo. Sassuolo holding on to a 2-1 victory. Salernitana getting a red card in that match, and Sassuolo continues to steamroll. I was I did predict well, I don't know what I predicted, actually. We'll find out soon.
Oh, do you want me to share that page instead, where there are the results and our predictions, so that we'll just jog through it all?
Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, no,
okay.
It's just because Salernitana has really been making some moves in this transfer market, so this could have been a surprise result, but no, Sassuolo holding on to the victory. Frosinone defeating, Cremonese defeating Frosinone 3-0. Really, that's finally, maybe we're finally seeing the Cremonese that we all expected to see throughout this course of the season. They're still in fourth place.
Spezia fans are not too happy about it, but yeah, you're right.
No, we'll get to that in a little bit. But, continuing on with the results a little bit, what was it? Where were we left off? Cremonese, correct.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I changed the image here.
There we go.
Yes, so Salernitana Sassuolo 1-2, Frosinone, Cremonese 0-3, Palermo Modena. There you go.
Yes, Palermo Modena 2-0 victory, much needed win for Palermo at home. Then we had Spezia Juve Stabia that finished in a 1-1 draw. Spezia having the lead at halftime, and then Juve Stabia coming back. Elia, I wanted to stop and ask you, what were your thoughts about the game? I only watched a little bit of it, caught a little bit in Sunday morning. So. Does this feel like 2 points drop because you were in a winning position and, coming back? What are your thoughts?
It stings. The wasps stings. Yes, there is some sort of deflection. Is that how you say it in English? Deflection from the Spezia team,
it seems like in these last few games, Spezia has kind of lost some steam.
Right, correct. So
kind of normal.
We are yet to find victory of in the new year, and for the 2025. We finished the girone d'andata with a draw in Spezia with Mantova, Then we lost in Bari for the first game of the Girone di Ritorno, and now we weren't able to outperform, to beat, to win with Juve Stabia. We did miss a penalty, but so the first 15 minutes, total dominance by Spezia. The first half, Spezia deserved to have the lead, and we did find the goal that allowed us to go to the break point, 1-0, at the first minute of the 2 minutes of extra time of the first half. So probably because just a few weeks before in Castellammare di Stabia we won 3-0, probably because Juve Stabia didn't show much in the first half of the game, and because Spezia found the lead, our players felt that, we're going to take this home, we're going to be able to maybe to consolidate the result further. Instead, Juve Stabia played a completely different game in the second half, and they never gave up. So towards the end, especially, they found the equalizer after a few minutes of the second of the beginning of the second half. And then after Spezia missed the penalty with Francesco Pio Esposito from Castellammare di Stabia, the game just was like in the quicksand. We lost control of the game, and by the end it was actually an open game. So I'm actually happy that we were able to finish with a draw, because we could have also lost this game. So it is interesting period for Spezia, and I hope that we can turn things around in the very felt game of the upcoming round with Carrarese and Carrara. Please go ahead.
I will. Yeah, I will say, I know it does feel like 2 points drop, especially because, Pisa and Sassuolo, they're continuing to win. And, Pisa, I saw like the recent form, they've really gained some ground over you guys. But I will,
I think you
shared it on your stories. If you recall, last season, you lost 4-0 against Como at the start of the year. And that was to start the year. It seemed like everything was going on. So just given this perspective, I think it's
absolutely right.
You're safe. Come on, you're not going.
No. Exactly. Just it is not the Spezia that we saw in the first half, but because the first half of the season Spezia performed so much above anybody's expectations that this is the reality check that sooner or later would have happened. We should have expected it. So this is no surprise. We just got to accept it for what it is. The goal is to avoid relegation. We're very close to it, and most likely achieve comfortably the playoff spot. We'll see which one of the playoffs position, because it's a long journey. So it is what it is. I just wanted to interrupt with this comment by Eva, which is my wife, from the backstage, who asks, why Biscotti's season? Yeah, let's explain that. Do you want to explain why Biscotti's season, so that for those who don't understand what we are referring to, we can explain what it means?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of new to it. Like, I didn't really know what it was until like last season when, Udinese was fighting for survival in Serie A, and they were, they played Lecce, and it was a 2-0 win for Udinese, because it was supposed to be a scontri diretti, but Lecce had already been saved. And so they basically, without a fight, Udinese won that game. So that's kind of how I first got introduced. But basically, I think correct me if I'm wrong, Biscotto is like a result that really benefits both teams. So if both teams basically they need a draw, both of them, or at least need a point to avoid relegation or promotion, they'll surprise, the result was a draw. So
right,
am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, prearranged solutions to uncomfortable situations, or smoothing things out in a way that might not be so ethic or so casually happened on the field. Games that are happening behind the scenes to make things right according to who is writing the story of the movie, let's say. So things have to be according to plans. Things have to take some sort of consequences into account. For example, we saw Bisoli just during this 21st round shouting to his team while he was coaching, Brescia in the draw with Sampdoria, come on, we gotta help Sampdoria, because if they go down, they're gonna go out of business, basically. So we gotta take things into account. All over the world, these things happen, especially in Italy, and this is the nature of the beast.
Did Italy really say that? I think that it was like kind of a mistranslated thing or whatnot. Like, I don't think he really said that. He probably said something regarding Sampdoria in the game. But
so first of all, thank you very much, 𝐏𝐫𝐞. This was a right question, something that needed to be explained. So thank you for your support to the backstage. And I think I just found it on Instagram. I didn't watch the game, so I thought that what it was referring to. But even going back years ago, Roberto Baggio, I mean, everybody knows who Roberto Baggio is, always said, è tutto un magna magna. It's also, I give you a hand, two hands help each other, and both of them, washes their face, we say, una mano lava l'altra e tutte e due lavano la faccia, no? One hand washes the other, and both of them washes the face. So it's part of the
it's
beast.
Something fun, It's funny just to see, like, oh, look, surprise, surprise, both teams got a point there. Like, oh, that really benefits both.
This is probably the best way to take it. When we have to, the consequences is not that fun. Like, the relegation of Spezia to help Verona, that was really upsetting. But anyhow, let's move on with the results of the 21st round. I interrupted you. Thank you, 𝐏𝐫𝐞. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, that I didn't even think about the Verona 2 seasons ago. Anyway, that's let's just move on.
Exactly.
So Reggiana Bari 0-0. Reggiana playing for 10 men for a lot of that game, but able to hold on for a draw. Südtirol, Catanzaro, 2 early goals.
And they were leading 1-0. They were leading 1-0. Then the goal got removed. I don't know for what reason. I wasn't watching the game because Spezia was playing at the same time and we were live. But I saw Reggiana was 1-0, and then I found that they didn't allow the goal and they got a red card. So I don't know what happened there.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't see the highlights for that game, unfortunately. But Südtirol, Catanzaro 1-1. Cosenza, Mantova, two of the two opponents that Cittadella play in these next 2 weeks. That finished in a 2-2 draw. Cosenza winning, or they were winning 2-0, and then Mantova coming back to draw that game. Cesena, Cittadella 0-0. This was
tell us about this game.
I think so I think it's I think from what I've been seeing and what I feel for what Cittadella has done, I think this is a solid result on the road. Yes, Cesena has been struggling recently, but Spendi was back in the lineup for them. Their leading goal scorer, the leading goal scorer for the league as well. So we know how dangerous they are up front. Cesena was really dominant in the first 15 minutes, but then Cittadella kind of grew into the game. The second half, There was not much going for Cittadella. Pandolfi had a breakaway that he could have probably made it 1-0 in like the 70th minute, but Castrati, Cittadella's goalkeeper, made some saves. Cesena even hit the post at one point in the second half. Basically, in the second half, it was much better from Cesena. Their substitutes really were difference makers. So Cittadella was kind of holding on to that point. And, I think it is a good point because that is now 5 straight results of at least, a positive result for Cittadella, which keeps them above the relegation zone. And
congratulations. Good job. I saw that Bastoni played the entire game and that Mirko Antonucci came on the pitch in the second half.
Yeah. So I think it is. I think Cittadella will be much happier with the result than Cesena, just how the game went. And they're going up against Mantova and Cosenza, two basically relegation rivals, and then 2 big games back to back. It is Pisa away and then Spezia at home. So this is a very important month or so for Cittadella's season.
Right. Best of luck. So carry on with the other results.
Yeah, so Brescia Sampdoria, this was the Bisoli game, like you were saying, Sampdoria winning and then Brescia coming back. This game, unfortunately, was highlighted by a racist episode. One of Sampdoria's players was racially abused by the Brescia Curva, and he was kind of taken off and consulted by a Sampdoria coach. I'm trying to find who it was, but it was really unfortunate and something you don't want to see, obviously. But it was very upsetting to see. But Sampdoria drawing away against Brescia, two teams that haven't really been good in the last 3 months, I'd say. They've only won like once, twice. So that's kind of the way it was. It was just unfortunate because this game was highlighted by that unfortunate event that happened. So hopefully something changes, but we'll have to see.
Buenas tardes a todos, writes Nicolas Troziotto, member of the channel. Hi Nicolas, thank you for being here. And yeah, closing up the last game of round 21 was Pisa-Carrarese, a very felt derby, especially for probably the two fan bases they used to have gemellaggio. Today they just respect each other, some sort of a friendship, but this was a very felt game, especially from Spezia fan, because Pisa is escaping and Carrarese, that currently occupied the playoff spot, is going to be the next opponent of Spezia in Carrara. And this was, they almost made it. Carrarese almost made it. They won in the Girone di Andata, and they were equalizing until the end of the game. And then at the 87th minute, Caracciolo scored the winning goal after a really big mistake by the defensive line of Carrarese. The goalkeeper tried to come out of the post, come out of the goal and call the ball. The defensive player just tried to miss and allow the goalkeeper to intervene, but the ball fell on his back, and it was an easy goal for Caracciolo at that point. Please go ahead, Jake.
Yes, I was watching this game like the last 30 minutes or so. Pisa was kind of dominating these last few minutes. I thought Carrarese were going to hold on, but yeah, it ended up being a mistake, a really bizarre mistake by the goalkeeper and that Carrarese defender. And you're, as a Spezia supporter, I don't know if you're going to be happy to hear this, but those type of moments that are really signify that this might be Pisa's year, because just when those weird, bizarre things happen, it just seems like those are moments that kind of define your season and just kind of push you towards that promotion. So the season's still long. There's still a long way to go, but that moment is really a big one for Pisa.
Yeah, it sucks. I got nothing else to add. Yeah, so these results allows us to see the scoring position as far as the standing goes. Sassuolo 49 points, all alone, followed by Pisa in second position at 46 points. Spezia losing some ground here at 39 points in third place, and followed by Cremonese, always closer, with 33 points in fourth place. Then there is Juve Stabia at 30 points, Catanzaro and Bari with 28, Palermo and Carrarese at with 27 points, basically 8th and 9th position for Carrarese, that does not enter within the playoff spots, which end at the 8th position, but has the same amount of points that Palermo has. So it's going to be a close fight probably until the end to secure playoffs positions, just like it always is. And at this point, I'm pretty sure that we're not going to be able to avoid it. But, it's so long, so it's early to say. Cesena in 10th position with 26 points. Modena and Reggiana with 25 points, respectively, in 11th and 12th position, followed by Brescia, Mantova, and Cittadella with 24 points. And then we reach Sampdoria in 16th position with 21 points, followed by Frosinone at the 17th place with 20 points. Südtirol with 19 points in 18th place. And then the last two teams in 19th and 20th place, both of them with 18 points, Cosenza and Salernitana. It looks like Cittadella is getting some traction and can finally pull themselves out of the red zone. What do you have to say, Jake?
Yeah, well, that's why I kind of say that, these next two games are going to be crucial before, two very big tests in Pisa and then Spezia on the bounce, because you have Mantova, who are tied on points. Mantova have not won on the road this year, so they have 0 wins in Trasferta on the road. So this is definitely a game where Cittadella, at least I gotta say, has to get something from it, at least a draw or something. And then they travel away to Cosenza. Cosenza hasn't been in the greatest of form recently. They could increase their lead over Cosenza and also get the tiebreaker, the head-to-head, because they drew 0-0 in the return leg, or in the first leg. So that would make sure that if the teams are tied on points, Cittadella would be ahead of them. My only thing is, I don't like Sampdoria being down there, just because they can't
find to push it.
No, I just think, first of all, I don't think Sampdoria are going to go down. I think they're eventually going to escape out of there. I just think
absolutely not. No way. And, no way. I agree.
I think, they will claw their way out of there. It's just being in a play out, a relegation play out with them. Just it doesn't sit right with me. I wouldn't go into that match feeling like, oh man, Cittadella has a chance. That would be a really tough situation to be in. So that's kind of all I have to say. It is still only 21 games played, so I think that is still a lot to go to, but that's kind of how I see it. And we're going back to this Biscotto meaning.
No, yeah, just because I wanted to give the exact, before we shared our opinion, but now that I did find an actual answer, I just wanted to read it out loud to close the chapter and move on. In soccer, biscotti is an Italian expression that describes when two teams collude to get a mutually beneficial result. It can also refer to tactical play where two people or teams try to eliminate a third person or team, just so that it's all clear for everybody. And we close the chapter on this. Since before we just shared our understanding of it, now this is the actual fact. Anyhow, I do understand what you're saying about avoiding a head-to-head with Sampdoria, so I feel you. Last year we've been there, we risked until the last, so I understand. But at the same time, I think Cittadella by now, it's a solid team for the Cadetteria, and you are performing so much better than just a few weeks ago that although the road is still long, I'm not saying that you're not going to have hiccups probably along the way, but I think you're moving forward towards a more comfortable rest of the season, I might say. I dare say.
Yeah, and I want to say what is it today? We're midway through January, and Cittadella still hasn't made a single signing for in the transfer market, which kind of scares me, because it was only like 3 weeks ago where we're saying this transfer market couldn't have come soon enough. I don't know if these last recent results changes Marchetti, the general director's opinions on things. I still think for me it doesn't. I think still Cittadella needs reinforcements and new players to kind of change things up. But yeah, we'll have to see. But it's a little worrying, because I thought for sure Marchetti was just gonna swing away as soon as the clock hit 0 when the transfer window opened, but it's not the case. We're still waiting for an official signing.
Yeah, we still have some time. I think the market transfer the window closes on the 3rd of February, so there are a bit more than 2 weeks. And we'll see. I don't expect much from Spezia, for example, but of course there are different teams that are making some moves. So that will certainly have his role, and will play a role in the next in the remaining part of the season. I just wanted to share our predictions on the previous round so that we can make the new one on round 22. So let's read how we did on round 21. Jake, please.
Well, I know. I was tracking my results. I know I did pretty well in this, I feel like. But
All right.
I did not start. We did not start off well. We got both zeros on Sassuolo winning over Salernitana. Frosinone Cremonese, another 0 for us. Cremonese getting the win. Palermo Modena, we both got a 1 on this because predicting Palermo to win. Spezia Juve Stabia, I was pretty proud of this. I did predict Juve Stabia to get the results, so get a 1 there. But then both zeros for us on Reggiana Bari, that finished in a draw. Südtirol Catanzaro, same, a draw. We did not expect that. I get a point for predicting Cosenza Mantova to finish in a draw. And then Cittadella drawing away against Cesena, another X. That's another point for both of us. You do get a point for predicting a draw in Brescia Sampdoria. So that is 1 there. And then Pisa Carrarese, Pisa scoring very late on to get a point for both of us. So I think we both did pretty well in this. Yeah. 5-4.
We both improve our average because our average remains under 4. So we did outperform ourselves, scoring 4 points myself and 5 you. So this is the current standing, 78-79. It's still very close. I just wanted to highlight and see if I can show it to the entire page. Too much. Sorry. That in all these, in the entire round, we had only 2 wins of the away teams, 2 wins of the home teams, and all the other were draws. All the others were X's, which is one of the reasons why the Serie B league is so difficult. Their teams remain so close because the level of the teams is much more balanced, much more equal than to the major league, where you got always the 4, 5, maximum 6, 7 teams that are destroying the championship. Here, anybody can win with anybody else. And this is the beauty of it and what keeps the tournament alive till the end. So I just wanted to point this out.
I agree.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely more balanced, I'd say. Just given, I know it sounds cliche, like, any team could beat anyone, but it really is true because you could, Salernitana, who's in last place right now, they could beat Sassuolo they were only a point away from it, or a goal away from drawing. In Serie A, I don't think that's really necessarily possible. Maybe once in a blue moon, but really it's much more unlikely.
Look, introducing the next round, Spezia is going to play in Carrara. In Carrara, both Pisa and Palermo lost. You know what I mean? And Carrarese is a newly promoted team. Of course, then you have the exception. You see Spezia when plays in the major league that goes to win in Naples or wins in Milan, both with Inter Milan and Milan. But that's because we are a fairy tale. So, it never happens. So
yeah, exactly.
We can start with our predictions since we want to keep the episode under the 45 minutes and we're already at the half an hour. And then I just want to remind you guys that we'll be live again tonight at 8:30 p.m. Italian time, let's say. So at 2:30 CET, if that's correct, with Spazio al Prossimo, the pregame of Carrarese Spezia. Would you like to start with the... Yeah, it's going to be a long afternoon for me. Would you like to start with the predictions? All right.
Yes, I will start. Sampdoria, Cesena. Now, these two sides, well, more specifically, Sampdoria has been really, really struggling. They haven't pulled together a win. Let me see. They haven't won since October 27th. That was a 1-0 win against Mantova. And really, and Cesena, on the other hand, like we've been saying, they have been really struggling, especially since, Spendi was injured, but now he is back in the lineup. So we'll have to see there. Cesena haven't scored a goal in their last 4 games. So this is a really interesting one, 2 teams that are really struggling. So for this, I could only see an X in this.
All right. That's what I was thinking about. But I must say that Sampdoria can't keep... did they win since Semplici arriving in Genoa?
Nope. Okay,
so I think this has to be the time for them to win. First of all, Yeah, I can, Cesena is struggling some. I saw that in the last 5 games they won the furthest out. They lost 3 consecutive games and then they draw with Cittadella, which is a very good result considering that Cesena is in 10th place with 26 points. But that's a very good result for Cittadella. That's what I mean. So I think that given the situation, the performance of Cesena, that is sort of declining, and Sampdoria that at least lost only 1 game of the most recent 5 with 4 draws, this time in Genoa, I think Sampdoria can actually make it. So it's a 1 for me on this one.
All right.
Cittadella Mantova. I just wanted to see the comment by Simone Angeli. Hi, Simo. Simone is a member of our channel. He is a very passionate supporter of Spezia Calcio, and today is here with us. Good afternoon, guys. I hope in a beautiful match for Sunday against Carrarese. We'll talk about it some more as we're making the prediction on it. Simone, I do invite you to let us know what you think the result is going to be. Ti invito, Simone, a farci sapere quale pensi che sia qual è il tuo pronostico per Carrarese Spezia. So continuing on with our predictions, we were saying Cittadella Mantova. Cittadella, guys, man, 5 games, 2 draws, and 3 wins for Cittadella. This is a magic moment, guys. You're really starting the 2025 on the right foot. And Mantova is at 24 points, just like you and Brescia. So this might actually be, as you said, a turning point for the championship. So you did finally reach a victory at home in the last game at home. Am I correct, Jake?
Yes, that was 2 home games ago against Reggiana, and then they followed it up with another home win against Palermo.
Nice. So how about another win on this one? Or maybe it's going to be a draw not to hurt anybody, you know what I mean? So we were talking about Biscotti earlier, but God knows. If I could have a double on this one, I would say 1x. I only have to pick one, so I'm on your side. I want to say it's a 1 for me on this one.
All right. Yeah, well, this is far too early to be a biscotto. But, like I was saying, this is definitely a big game because Cittadella has this, and then they play against Cosenza, another team in the relegation battle, and then they have 2 games against Spezia and then Pisa, which, logically you don't expect much. You don't expect to win in both of those games, just given how good the teams have been. Mantova has not won on the road, which kind of scares me because Cesena also didn't win on the road, and they did beat Cittadella at the Tombolato pretty convincingly. Mantova is one of those teams that's going to have the ball a lot. They're going to possess. They're going to, have the majority of possession like they always do. I just see an X in this. I don't think. I think it'll be similar to the first game where it was pretty tight, nothing much happened, and then Mantova scoring late. So I think it's going to be another draw.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I said that I was very doubtful, between the 1 and the X, so I can see that happen. Salernitana Reggiana, you're up.
Ooh, both Granata teams here. Salernitana, another home match for them. I think they're going to do it. I think they'll get a 1 here.
All right.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling.
Look, before you even started, I was sorry to predict my 3rd consecutive 1, but if Salernitana doesn't win at home with Reggiana, they are going to be in big trouble, like seriously big trouble. They're already at the bottom of the table, and if they're also starting to have a gap, they're not going to be able to scratch themselves, just with their crawl out of this uncomfortable situation. I wish them well. I do sympathize much more for Salernitana than I do for Reggiana, so hopefully it's going to be a 1, and we'll see. Modena-Frosinone. Modena in 11th place with 25 points. Frosinone still struggling with only 20 points in 17th place. 3 losses, 1 win, 1 draw in the last 5 games for Frosinone. And Modena, 2 wins, 2 draws, and most recent result, it's a loss. I'm going to predict an X on this one since I haven't predicted 1 yet, so it's an X for me. Jake.
This is a really tough one. Like, I could really see Modena. I could see Frosinone. I could see a draw on this. I just don't know what's going to happen. For this, I'll just say 1. You know, I just, for whatever reason, I just say 1. I don't know.
In the meantime, we have a couple of interaction from Simone. It says exactly that. Good afternoon, guys. As I read earlier, I hope you're in a beautiful game for Sunday against 𝐏𝐵𝐸, but without visitor supporters, it will be more difficult to win the match. I agree, and we'll dive more into this subject in the next live, the one pre-game. I'm referring to the fact that yet again they are imposing this restriction on the Spezia fan, and they're not going to be able to follow their team on the away game, which is ridiculous. This is really, I mean, they're just, depriving us of our freedom, but I don't want to go into this kind of conversation right now. So the next comment by Simone is about his prediction. It says Sampdoria Cesena win to the visitors, so he sees Cesena winning in Genoa. Cittadella Mantova wins for the home team, so he agrees with me in the win of Cittadella at home with Mantova. And then Salernitana Reggiana, he sees a tie, so it's an X for him. Thank you, Simone, for sharing your predictions. We'll see who's right. Maybe we can track them, and we'll find out in the next episode how many points you scored. Continuing on with our predictions, we have Cremonese Cosenza. Who's up?
I think I'm up. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so Cremonese got a win against a relegation threatened Frosinone. That was a big win. That was, I think, a much needed win because Cremonese has kind of been up and down, haven't been really consistent. So maybe they can find consistency against another team that they should be beating, against Cosenza, who haven't been great as of late. For that, I'll say a tight 1-0 win, so probably a 1.
Sorry. I tied. I thought a close. Sorry, I misunderstood you. So it's a 1 for you on this one.
Yeah.
I apologize, Jake. I'm all over the place.
It's all good.
So on paper, the odds are all in favor of Cremonese. Cremonese is in great shape right now. What is it? 5 consecutive positive results. 2 draws, 1 win, 1 draw, and another win. Cosenza is really struggling. 3 losses and only 2 draws. The other day, I was listening to some fans in Cosenza. Most of them want the ownership, the president, to leave, and some others that always supported Alvini are starting to say that he should present his resignations. So they are really in a difficult spot. They are unpleased, with the squad. So on paper, Cremonese is going to destroy them. It's going to be an easy win for Cremonese, given also the condition of Cosenza. On the other hand, I do hope that they can at least score a point, but I can't disagree with you. It's a win. It's a 1 on this one. Cremonese is going to win this game.
Okay.
Next one is Bari Brescia. Brescia still underperforming, if I'm not mistaken, with the draw. 5 consecutive draws in the most recent games for Brescia. And as far as Bari goes, they did draw the most recent game, but they're coming from 3 consecutive losses and 1 win. So maybe playing at home will have a factor. They played such a good performance with Spezia. I just thought, guys, that they're gonna fly now again, and then they stopped.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say 1 on this one again. So I'm really on the side of the home teams during this round. What do you think, Jake? Bari Brescia.
This was another classic case of a biscotto last season. If you recall, these teams played each other on the final day. If Spezia, for you guys, I think it kind of had implications because Bari they hadn't won in months, and they played against Brescia, who were in the playoffs. They had already clinched playoffs. They had really nothing to play for, and what do you know? Bari beats Brescia to go put themselves in the relegation playout. So that was that's another classic case of a biscotto. I find it so funny. Just every result that I just find is just biscotto. So
right, I understand.
Anyway,
It's not that funny. Like, it's a sad situation, but it is what it is. It's a reality.
Yeah, so I mean, going back to today, I see a draw in this. I think Mari's just been drawing a lot of games this season. 10 so far this season, and why not another draw? So
Might very well happen, absolutely. Sassuolo su Tirol, you're up.
Yeah, this should be on paper should be an easy win for Sassuolo, and they really should. I think they have too much firepower. This is an easy one for me.
Easy one for you on Sassuolo su Tirol. There you go. I just wanted to read the comment by Simone that's very active with the chat. Thank you, Simone, for your support. He writes, Modena Frosinone, tie, Cremonese Cosenza, home team victory. So he agrees with us that Cremonese is going to defeat the Wolves. And then his prediction for Bari Brescia and Sassuolo su Tirol are home team victory. So Bari is going to win and Sassuolo is going to win. He agrees with you. And then he predicts already the future round. So we'll leave the rest of this comment for later. As far as I'm concerned, I agree with you. Also because after the game for Spezia with Carrarese, there will be Spezia Sassuolo. So it's in my own interest to hope that Sassuolo keeps on winning, so that at least they're going to be a little bit happy about themselves, and they might actually, sleep on a banana peel at the Alberto Picco. So I agree with your prediction and Simone's prediction. So it's a one for me in the game between Sassuolo and Südtirol, which leads us to Catanzaro-Pisa, and I do hope strongly that Catanzaro can help us out on this. Catanzaro is coming from a draw and is currently occupying the 6th position with 28 points. And they've been ups and down with 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 win and 1 draw in the last 5 games, while Pisa is really up there. 4 wins in the last 5 games. So yet again, on paper, Pisa is the favorite among these two, but I do believe in fairy tale, and I do hope that Catanzaro can help us out. So most likely it's going to be an X, but I like to predict a 1. So it's a 1 for me on this one. Go Catanzaro, go Catanzaro, go Catanzaro. Go ahead, Jake.
You predicted like basically all 1s in this round.
Yeah, just all X's. Just like in the previous round, they were all X's. Basically, now all 1s. I'm gonna guess some of them.
Yeah, well, I think I finally gonna predict a 2 in this. I think Pisa are just too strong.
And in great shape. I agree. I mean, I can't blame you for that. Absolutely. All right, which leads us to Palermo, Juve Stabia.
Interesting match. Palermo maybe are finally getting some form together. I mean, they were close to sacking Dionisi, but they continued with him. Let me just see. Getting a 2-0 win. It's 2 back-to-back home games with a win against Bari Modena, so maybe they're starting to get some form. I'm going to say a draw on this. I think Juve Stabia has proven themselves to be a good team this year, and they'll settle for a draw in this.
Absolutely. Palermo is in 8th place, 27 points, 3 losses, 2 wins. Juve Stabia is in 5th place, only 3 points ahead of Palermo. So this is a good occasion for Palermo to reach Juve Stabia, newly promoted team with 30 points, 5th place, 2 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. But I do agree with you. This is going to be a good ground for a Biscotti result. We extensively talked about the subject. It's an X on this one for me.
Is this really a Biscotto result? I mean,
yeah, because they don't hurt themselves. They can still be playing for the playoff spots, but they're not gonna hurt one another too much. So they're playing in Palermo. Palermo, as long as it doesn't lose in front of the teams, and Juve Stabia is a solid team, so it can actually lose. So I see an X.
All right, maybe.
Anyhow, this closes. Let's close the prediction on round 22. Talking about Carrarese Spezia. So up until now, I was really confident about the team of my hometown after the performances in the first half of the championship. Now I have to riaggiustare il tiro. I have to reassess the current situation. So while I would have said just a few weeks ago, man, we're going to Carrara, newly promoted team, there is really a lot to play for as far as history. The fans can't go to Carrara to begin with, which is insane. But the team currently is not in the best condition. I think even mentally, the penalty that Francesco Pio Esposito missed might actually create some uncertainty in the mental condition of the player. We'll see. Hopefully it's not going to happen what happened tomorrow last season. They started to get into a depression, basically. So while before I was confident that as we won with Carrarese at home, we could have gone to Carrara and win almost as we did in Castellammare di Stabia with a 3-0. Now I would be happy to come back from Carrara without a loss, so with a draw, and then to do our best to win with Sassuolo in the Alberto Pico. So I would be happy with an X, and I'm going to predict an X on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I said before the Juve Stabia game that this was a really important game for just Spezia, just to start the new year right and to show that they are serious about getting second place for Serie A. And they are going to be playing the last game of the round, so they will know all the results. They'll see if Pisa did slip up against Catanzaro or if Sassuolo slipped up against Südtirol. I don't know if that'll create more pressure or more anxiety to get a result to close the gap or just to stay within the pack. And like you said, Spezia's next game is against Sassuolo at home, so these next two games could really, if they don't get a win against Carrarese and then they lose to Sassuolo, you're looking like, I don't know, maybe 10 points away from second place, as we'll see what Pisa does. But, this is a really important period for Spezia, and they prior to the game against Mantova, they had not conceded in, what was it, like 3 games, or they had only conceded like twice in the past 7 games or whatever it was. And now they have been conceding some goals, so they got to tighten it up. Carrarese, like we said, has just been really proving themselves to be a really difficult team. They were almost with the result.
Surprisingly, right? Because they didn't start very well after being newly promoted. But now, guys, they are a certainty almost. They are up there. So congratulations to them. They are serious about maintaining the category. So I agree with everything you just said. Absolutely.
And I think it'll be an X for this. I think it'll be a close contested game. Both sides, I think, will score in this, and I'm going to predict an X.
I agree. And I'm sorry to say that in light, of the results of our own game, we agree on a lot of results, as I'm highlighting now. So we'll see what happens. And to find out, we do invite you to participate to our next live next Wednesday, the 22nd, to find out, how well we did with our predictions. In the meantime, I would like to thank Simone, who has been protagonist of today's episode, and these are his predictions. Bari Brescia and Sassuolo Südtirol, he gives a victory to the home teams. Catanzaro Pisa and Carrarese Spezia, visitors victory. So he's thinking, he's hoping that Spezia can actually win in Carrara, and hopefully that would be a really good result, of course, for us. Palermo Juve Stabia, he sees it as a tie, so he agrees with Palermo Juve Stabia being a cookie match. So we end today's live with this comment. I'll let you wrap up the episode, letting us know, Jake, where we can find our content. As far as I'm concerned, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Jake, please wrap up the episode, and thank you very much.
Yeah, and like we said, the cookie season, it's just a joke. We don't know what's actually happening, but it's fun to just say biscotto whenever a team it's a favorable result or whatever. So I don't know. It's just we do this for fun. So that's
indeed
that's the beauty of it. So, but anyway, regarding me, you could find us 𝐏𝐫𝐞 USA, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And check out 𝐏𝐫𝐞usa.com, where we did an exclusive interview with former Cittadella coach Roberto Venturato. We talked to him about his coming up. He grew up in Australia, watched Johan Cruyff all those years ago, which eventually led to him being in charge of 𝐏𝐵𝐞, which was very close to Serie A. But yeah, go check out that article. It's exclusive at 𝐏𝐵𝐞-𝐸.com.
All right. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next Wednesday. And together we will be speaking Serie B.